Hi Chris and PCC, if you're watching. We are on the Riverside gallery roof at the moment. Okay, and we have a number of very minor leaks on this, which I suggested to you was almost certainly due to flashing. We've had a little look at the main area of the roof, and we haven't found any defects. But when we look at the flashing, we have found a number of defects. Just as an aside, this is where we did the main repair here a few months back. You can see from the colour and the salts coming out of the brickwork that that's drying out nicely, and the moss that was flourishing there is slowly beginning to die, which is a great sign. That's exactly what you want to see. See, look at all these salts here, all coming out now as this is beginning to dry out, and here, which is fabulous news. It's really pleasing to see that. But going down to our next problem now, we go down to the windows over the gallery, and we look at the sills and the flashing that goes in. You can see that the flashing is open. See, it's intact there, and it's open here. This is definitely where one of the leaks is, and there's one or two other areas where the flashing is a little bit open, I think. No, not so much so. There are little areas where it's open, but that's not really the main issue. We can fix that with a little bit of mastic, wire brush, and reseal it, and you would think that that would solve the problem. But there's something else going on here, and this is not so easy to spot unless you know exactly what you're looking for. But we look at the sandstone sills here. Now, these are the last three windows on the gallery, and that is pretty much what it should look like. You can see that your sandstone's intact, the joint is reasonably sound, and the flashing is also intact. That one and that one are the same. They're in relatively good order. The mullion here in the middle is badly spoiled at the bottom, but other than that, that's watertight and sound. Let's move along to the next one. And what you notice here is that there's a plethora of moss growing here. Now, moss will not grow on dry brickwork like that, dry masonry like that. So this is soaking wet, absolutely sopping wet. Now, obviously there's an obvious crack there that needs filling, but the real problem is the likes of this. Water's getting into this sandstone here, and it's causing it to spoil away. All this is quite loose, and the spoiling will continue to take place. If we look further along, there's varying degrees of the same thing. It's beginning to happen there. It's quite moderate here. Getting to the area now where the first lot of leaks was that you brought to my attention. So you can see that again, there's a load of moss growing here, and it's really quite badly spoiled. It's all flaking away and deteriorating. This is the open area here, and again we've got spoiling beginning to take place there. I think the reason this is coming away is because the surface of the sandstone is breaking away and bringing the flashing with it. So it's no use just bunging a bit of mastic in there, because it'll happen again next year and the year after. This is quite bad just here. This is the last gallery window, as you can see, and that's again quite bad. So what do we do about this? Well, we've got to be a little bit careful here because English heritage will have a dicky fit if we do certain things. So let's look at the worst one as an example. So we come back to this one here. So what we need to do is to wire brush all this moss off first of all, and then any really badly spoiled stuff, anything that's really loose, we need to very carefully break that away without causing further damage. We'll end up then with a surface something like that. Okay, then to stop it happening again, we need to spray it with silicone spray. That will make the sandstone waterproof and it'll stop the spalling dead in its tracks. It won't fix what damage is already there, but it'll stop it getting worse. The bad news is that it does need to be redone every 15 years or so. Okay, once we've done that, we can then fix all the cracks and the flashings, and that should stay in place then. So those three are okay. We need one fairly extensive work, two bit of minor work, three minor work, four minor work, flashing work. This is number 5, minor work, and number 6, minor work. With the likes of this one and one or two of the others, we've got a joint in the sandstone here. Now, English Heritage would like us to do a lime mortar repair on that, which is in keeping with the building. But I'll speak to you verbally about that because I'm not 100% happy to recommend that here. But I'll speak to you verbally about that. Okay, end of report.